What was that like for you?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, I was really there for Jordan and Trav and those guys that are getting the opportunity at the next level. So anything I can do to help those guys is obviously a great opportunity for them. And then it was obviously a good opportunity for me as well to throw in front of NFL teams. Just not playing behind the guy I play behind. Don't necessarily get the opportunity as much, so it was definitely a cool and unique deal for me.
Where do you feel like you want to progress more in year 2 under Lincoln?
Just in terms of my game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I met with Lincoln obviously after the season. He just really wanted me to get my body right, you see Caleb do these phenomenal things athletically. He kind of talks to me you need to be able to play your game, but if you can add some of that, it'll make you a much better player. So it's kind of what I'm focused on right now.
I feel like with so much movement these days, quarterbacks and transfers and things like that, and a lot of quarterbacks in your shoes, I'm behind the Heisman winner, there's a 5-star guy coming in.
Yeah.
Why would I stay? What made you want to come back and stay?
Shoot, well, if I'm going to sit behind anyone, it might as well be the Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, I mean, I think I have a ton of belief in myself as a player. I have a ton of confidence I can go to a bunch of different places and be the guy, but I also know that, I have a certain passion for this place and what playing quarterback here means, and I'm willing to see that through. And I have a ton of belief in myself that I'll be able to do that.
You talked about Jordan and Travis and some of the guys you kind of threw the ball to for the last time today. What are some of the things from those guys that you want to take?
Yeah, I mean, I think Trav was kind of the heart and soul of our team even after he got injured. Talk about a dude that came in, was a veteran, not only led the running back room, but led the team as a whole, regardless of how he was doing physically. And I think that's definitely something that I can take and learn from him and just really try to embody going forward. And I think Jordan, just as a skillful guy, is one of the best I've ever seen. I mean, Drake was obviously so dominant my freshman year, but Jordan was probably the most technical receiver I've ever been. So obviously applying that to my position going forward, definitely something I'll look at.
So Lincoln said you might have taken the biggest step in terms of confidence.
Yeah.
How would we see that on the football field? What's different, or where would we be able to see that in your game if you're watching?
I mean, I think playing quarterback is so much about confidence, and I think if you haven't played, you might not necessarily understand that. But comfortability in the system is definitely something going into year 2. You're thinking about protection, you're thinking about run game checks that initially you're okay, I'm handing the ball off and it's going right, but now you understand the scheme, you understand everything that's happening. So I think confidence and faith in what you're doing really helps build that confidence that Lincoln was talking about.
How important were those Cotton Bowl reps during prep for that bowl game last year?
Yeah, no, I mean, me and Caleb pretty much split it evenly throughout all spring camp and then practice throughout the year. So the load wasn't that different, but getting the opportunity to go with the ones. And you got a center like Brett, Voorhees, those kind of guys that are able to do advanced things up front, and then obviously Jordan was hurt at that point. But just running with the ones is obviously positive and a unique opportunity that I try to take advantage of.
Some of those older guys that are now leaving, I know they play a different position, but what's the one thing that you've learned most from them, from their time at USC while you were here too?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at guys kind of how I touched on Brett and Voorhees, who really embody what it means to be a Trojan here at SC, and I think you'll see the same thing with a guy like Justin Dietich, who's leaving now. They gave their heart and soul to this program and gave their bodies to this program too, unfortunately. But I mean, yeah, they bled Cardinal and Colt as much as anyone, and I would be honored to do the same. So.
What's been your impression of the new guys, the new skill guys?
Yeah, I mean, they've been awesome. I think freshmen through transfers, starting to get the hang of the system as we get through to practice 5 about a third way done. So we've got a lot of explosive guys. It's fun to throw to them.
I know with Malachi Nelson coming in, there's been some talk of Caleb kind of mentoring him a little bit. Is that something that you've done at all as well? What's your relationship with him?
Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of always happens when you have a younger guy in the room. Obviously, there's an acclimation period. I've really just tried to focus on my own game, and I think the room kind of takes younger guys along with them.
Is there an inter-competition level between you three now being all in the same room, and if so, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always competition. I think me and Caleb went at it for a year last year, and that was awesome. And I think, I mean, you're always, it's hard to play football without competing, So, like I said, I'm behind the Heisman Trophy winner right now, so that's about as good as competition you're going to get. So I try to really go after it with him every day.
Is that something you kind of expect when you signed with USC? I mean, you committed with other quarterbacks in your class, and you have other quarterbacks sort of coming in now. That's something
Yeah.
you just kind of expect when you pick QB year.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a whirlwind of a time. But yeah, I mean, I think when I committed, I said, like, if you're gonna compete, you're either gonna compete now or you're gonna compete later, going in the draft or whatever it is. Like, you can't hide from that at some level. I mean, like even like Caleb's competing with guys around the country, you know what I mean, to be the number 1 pick next year. So like, you can't hide from competition at any level in this game. And I try to embrace it as much as I can.
Thanks, Miller.